I was going to laugh because, Jeff, you look so serious. Welcome, everyone, to SVK Network. We got a great show lined up today. We're going to navigate food inflation with plant-based menu ideas. And today we have the amazing folks from Saputo here with their Vitalite product and Chef and Karen. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yep, you look so. Chef, I was watching you in the green and down on the other screen here, and you look so serious.
Food is serious business.
Food is a serious business, eh? I guess. Well,
No
plant-based
joking.
cheeses too, right? Plant-based cheeses as well. So, Chef, do you want to kind of share with us before we get in, and me and Karen are going to chat while you cook, I think, about plant-based and your product. Let's talk a little bit about this product first, because I've tried it, huge fan of it, and then we'll get into kind of some of the recipes you're going to share with us today.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Jay. Obviously, plant-based is a pretty big deal these days. It's one of the fastest growing segments out there. And as we enter into a world of very inflated food pricing, people are looking to trade out those higher priced proteins for plant-based menu options to help streamline your food cost and offer menu options for those people that are looking for plant-based. Vitalite has been just recently brought into the market, and I've been working with the product for the last few years now. It's by far the best plant-based cheese alternative that I've ever worked with. It performs just like cheese in the way it melts, the way it tastes, the texture, the flavors, and now available in several formats. But today we're going to work with just a couple of them by making a breakfast wrap with a little bit of a Mexican flair. So for that one, we'll have some plant-based mozzarella and cheddar slices, as well as the shreds, just to kind of show the two. Then we're going to get into a booster grain salad. So really looking at the high-impact, nutrient-rich foods and grains, along with the plant-based Parmesan cheese. Then we'll finish off with sweet potato gnocchi and going again into something a little more innovative. Gnocchi's fairly trendy. And then adding that sweet potato in there makes for a new kind of way to enjoy your gnocchis. And we'll have the plant-based Parmesan in there.
Nice. Awesome. Well, it's all over to you, Chef. Then you start cooking. I'm going to ask Karen some questions here when we start. So, Karen, the thing that I really find fascinating is a lot of people think that because obviously inflation, and thanks again for tackling inflation. We're fighting food inflation for the next couple months here as we don't see those prices coming down in our industry. We want to provide solutions out there. How do you see menu items? How do you see people in our industry using plant-based on their menu items without having to charge a ton of dollars?
Well, I think they're doing the alternatives. I think the focus for us and how we sell this is, lactose-free, plant-based. The way that this product is, it doesn't fluctuate in price as much as, say, chicken, especially. We were talking about chicken, weren't we? How it's
pretty crazy.
I was going to say, eggs are pretty like gold right there too. The chef just had.
Yeah, eggs as well, right? Even the beef market throughout the whole, the last few years has been, extremely high, fluctuating, whereas these prices and the dairy prices have been pretty consistent. They do go up, obviously, with inflation, but for right now, not so crazy as some of the other markets, the other protein markets.
That's right. And, well, I guess, we have been through a bit of a tough patch with some of the produce lately with the hurricanes that happened in the fall down in Florida and also in Mexico. And we had the drought in California is still a bit of a factor. So yeah, it's even tough in the plant-based space to find affordable menu options. So it's about being able to charge what you need to charge for those by elevating the dishes. Using a plant-based cheese is always an easy way to bring up the perceived value of your menu options by adding that elevated menu ingredient to it.
Perfect. What are you doing there, Chef? What was that spice you threw in there? Was that a spice?
Yeah, that was some cayenne pepper, some cumin, and some chilies. And this is just for the scramble that's going to go on the Mexican Mexican flair breakfast wrap, and then we've got I've got the tortillas warming up in the oven. I'm doing one that's fully vegan as well, just to give you an option, and I use one of those egg alternative patties, just egg, and it provides a nice way to get an egg-like product into your breakfast wrap without not having the egg in there.
Now,
So,
Chef, I have a question for you, Chef. Did you go to the Mexican cuisine? Because I find a lot of people look at that because their food is so good, but it also tends to be very cost effective. Was that the first decision there?
I do it because it's trendy and it's flavorful, and people are spicy food seems to be a fairly consistently trendy product. So Mexican cuisine kind of lends to that, even though a lot of true, authentic Mexican food isn't all that spicy. It's just the North American interpretation of it that is. But big, bold flavors always are welcome for me, and I love the flavors of cumin and cayenne pepper together. Some of my favorites. And then the Mexican food also is pretty heavy on the produce. You got lots of light, fresh flavors like lime juice, and I made a little tomato salad here that I'm going to put in the wraps. So just some quartered cherry tomatoes with lime, olive oil, a little more cumin, and cilantro. And who doesn't like avocado, right? So that's a pretty trendy ingredient in itself. As much as it is pricey, it does again add that perceived value. So adding avocado is a very appropriate thing in a Mexican dish.
Awesome.
And
So
I'm
Karen,
gonna try it.
I was going to say, Karen, you're going to try it? Is that, I hope.
I'm gonna eat it. Yeah.
You're going to eat it?
Yeah, she's got the
So
easy
she
go.
pushes chef out of the way and into it. So Karen, is there some ideas around some examples you may want to share with us that you've seen people use this on the menus lately, maybe in not a wrap in other ways?
Sorry, Jay, we couldn't catch that. I was too busy chopping lettuce.
Oh, no worry. I was just going to say, is there other ideas within how people can use this product on their menus, maybe as a substitution for regular cheese to plant-based? Have you seen that?
There's so many options. A lot of our pizza places here in Vancouver use it as a plant-based option or a lactose-free option. Less is more with this product, right, Chef?
Yeah, you don't need to use a ton of it. I'm just going to add the shred directly into the eggs for this one. But, you use it in the same proportions that you would use just a regular cheese product. So unlike some of the other plant-based cheeses out there, you don't need to change anything on your recipe. All you do is just swap shredded cheese for dairy-free plant-based cheese, and it performs exactly the same. And the flavor's there too. So that's the beauty of this product is the applications, like Karen was saying, are endless. It goes wherever you have cheese on your menu. Just swap out plant-based Vitalite cheese, and it 100% performs the same way. So
Vegetarian poutine,
gotcha.
even just sort of raw on salads, unmelted on a salad, just is nice. It's a nice sort of flavor.
No aftertaste. There's no aftertaste, right? There's no aftertaste. There's not that
doesn't
weird
have
taste.
That cardboardy aftertaste that you find.
Yeah. Yeah. No offense to those other companies out there, but it doesn't taste good. It tastes like cardboard.
We're here to promote our product, not diss others, right?
No, we're not going to diss others. No, we're all good.
They're trying their best.
So what's so Chef, did you add oil to those tomatoes or is that just raw?
It's there's a little bit of olive oil, some lime juice, and some cilantro,
Okay.
just to make a nice light salad out of it. And of course, we'll throw in some avocado. Avocado. Fun fact: do you know what the original name for the avocado was?
I usually don't get history questions back to me, but I don't know, Chef. I love it. I don't know.
It used to be called a gator pear, believe it or not.
Really?
Because it was pear-shaped and looked a little bit like an alligator from the outside. So it was called a gator pear, and they couldn't sell it at all to save their lives. So smart people in marketing decided to rename it the avocado and invented the guacamole, and all of a sudden now it's one of the more trendy ingredients out there.
Either way, it's delicious.
I did not know that. Jeez, I love that, Chef.
Fun fact.
So Karen, one of the things here that we had in my notes is to ask you about some menu trendy ideas around TikTok trends. And I talk to a lot of restaurants about using TikTok nowadays as a great way to see what marketing, like I actually to use it as a marketing tool in a way that's happening out there. Have you seen some people utilizing plant-based menu ideas from TikTok out in the field?
On TikTok? I think TikTok is the way to go. Chef, you have your TikTok, don't you?
I'm afraid I don't.
He doesn't.
I'm not one of those.
No, I'm not a TikTok. I'm old school. I kick it old school. So there are a lot of trends that come through TikTok. So I'm sure if you get the plant-based on there, it'll definitely trend.
Yeah, we're seeing like going to restaurants. We're starting to see restaurants put a scene on TikTok, taking recipes from there, applying it from TikTok as becoming if not the number one social site right now that is pushing a lot of these trends. But what a great way to find out what's trending right now is to go on there and go plant-based recipes or whatever it is, and be able to see what is actually being liked too, from what consumers are looking out there for. So great tool to use.
For us on the West Coast, we look at California as a way to see what menu items are going to kind of trend because it comes up the coast and then pushes east slightly. So
does it still do that? Is it still do that, Karen? Does it still go geographically in a way across Canada that way? Does the trends do the trends do that? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Trends come up from California. Sometimes Phoenix is the birthplace of a lot of new food trends. Las Vegas, but yeah, they come up the coast, eventually find their way to Vancouver, and sometimes will move east.
Nice.
The old saying, I'm not sure if it's still totally applicable, but they always used to say that ideas would flow west to east and money would flow east to west.
Okay, I remember that, Jeff. I remember that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so we got our two Mexican wraps here. I did the vegan one and then the one with the vegetarian one with egg. And yeah, those are good to go. Quick and easy to produce. And what I like about them is we've got some warm elements and some fresh, bright, crisp, cool elements. So it's contrast in texture, flavor, temperature, and good grab and go options. And then of course, using that plant-based cheese just makes it, it gives you the ability to charge a little more for it because it is in fact, premium. It's loaded with a little more protein. And, yeah.
Very cool.
Way to keep your costs
awesome.
down.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we're gonna break for a little commercial here. Come back, and then Chef, what's on deck next? What do you got up here?
On deck,
a little bowl.
A booster grain salad. So
a booster. I never heard of a booster grain salad.
Well, because I created it.
Well, there's you. Yeah, exactly. I'm a little east of you. Awesome.
I like to call it the booster grain salad because we got some really cool grains in there, some ancient grains that are really good for you, full of nutrients, really pack a punch and fill you up and loaded with protein and low cost. So great for your
awesome. Well,
inflation fight.
Let's come back and we'll see that in a second. We'll be right back here.
Imagine both your front and back of house teams are so well trained that they're executing flawlessly. Your front of house is doubling your sales, boosting repeat business, and creating 5-star dining experiences, while your back of house is consistently preparing each dish to perfection, on time and to spec. Having a restaurant this dialed takes a unique training system. That's where Serve comes in. Serve means study restaurant variety, and it is a powerful, mobile training system, custom built to meet the needs of your restaurant. Serve will up-level your team's knowledge and skills, maximize your profits, and create experiences guests will rave about. Serve is the key to unlocking your restaurant's hidden potential, and will prove that the more your team is able to learn, the more your restaurant will earn. It's Serve, and it's a game changer. Ready to serve? Get started at servenow.com.
I was like, we're back, everyone. SVK now. Chef, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Chef?
Yeah, we're trying to get our monitor back up and running. It's not working, so we're kind of flying blind, but
you know what? I'll fly with you, buddy. I'll fly with you.
How's his hair?
His hair is great.
Normally I can keep a track of how I'm looking.
So, Karen, are you seeing a lot of bowls still out in Vancouver in the area out there?
Bowls, yeah,
Yeah.
bowls are very trendy, high in, chef right here has the kale and the nuts, and avocado again is super high in protein, right? So it's a nice.
Chef, have you seen some stabilization on kale? Like kale tends to not, because we used to use it as a garnish 15 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that, right?
Wilted in the bottom of the plate, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when I started working in restaurants, we used to have a contest who could eat the kale. Like we used to have a contest on that, yeah, because it was a garnish. I don't even know if it was a garnish then; it was like a weed.
Yeah, it wasn't really considered too much of a delicious food item back then.
If someone ate it, it was kind of like a joke by accident on the plate, and now it's in everything. So.
Well, I think somebody finally realized, hey, this stuff's pretty darn good for you. Why don't we throw it on the menu instead of throwing it out as the unused garnish?
Well, I think kale. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Chef. Sorry.
I was just going to say kale. The tricky thing with kale is it's such a hard leaf that, and it's quite bitter. So if you saw what I did there, I kind of massaged it a bit.
Yeah. Why did you do that?
So that breaks up a lot of the cellular structure in the kales so that it actually can absorb some of the flavor from the dressing. And if you don't do that, like I said, it's such a hard product. It doesn't really absorb any flavor, and you just get that really strong bitterness. So
Nice.
Yeah, do that first, and or else if you're not going to do that, cooking it is another option to help kale be a little more palatable.
Kale chips.
Kale chips is great. So I've got kale and arugula. I've got some red quinoa here that I'm going to throw into the salad as well. Red quinoa is great. It's got a little more health benefits than your typical quinoa.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is farro. This is a really cool grain. It's an ancient grain. It's unchanged for hundreds of years. It's basically from wheat. So you do have to be careful with the gluten sensitivities, but it's so much better for you than wheat because it's really unprocessed.
Oh, really cool. I've heard of that, Chef. Now that you say that, I've heard that popping up a little bit.
The farro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem to be making a bit of a comeback. And it's one that I really like it because it's got a nice chew to it. It's a firm grain, and it's almost like a squeaky kind of chewy flavor or texture. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, tons and tons of protein and benefits in there.
Sure.
So we've got our kale, arugula, and a little bit of the grains in there. This is just forming the base of the bowl. And I tend to use the grains cold, but you could do it warm as well.
Wow, it would be great warm too, hey?
Yeah. And then our next step will be kind of the garnishing. I've got some squash here that I roasted. With olive oil.
How did you do that, Chef? Tell us how you roast, because I did some roasting last night. I want to learn from you. So how'd you do that?
So peel it and seed it, obviously. I cubed it up, tossed it with some a little bit of cinnamon, some olive oil, salt, pepper. Cinnamon. And just do a hot oven until it's soft and browned up a bit.
What's the cinnamon do, Chef? I've never used cinnamon, but that sounds interesting.
What? Oh, really? Cinnamon's great. Cinnamon finds its way into so many things on my menu, and in the most unlikely of places, and it really performs great. It's not just something you sprinkle on your French toast.
Yeah.
I love it in a stew, in a chili, any kind of savory application. Add a little cinnamon in it, just great. Creates that cool little background flavor.
Karen, do you know what's the Greek secret to spaghetti sauce?
Cinnamon?
Yeah. Yeah, you used to put a cinnamon stick in the Greek spaghetti sauce.
There you go. So
yeah.
I'm not alone in this.
Yeah,
thinking.
I probably just, it was a sacred secret probably, and I just ruined it for everyone. Thank you. Sorry.
So you're in trouble now, I guess.
Exactly. No, I seriously, I got taught by a lot of Greek chefs, and that was one of the secrets: cinnamon stick in the spaghetti sauce.
So I got some charred broccoli in here as well.
Nice.
So really hot oven, and again a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and you just want to almost blacken that broccoli. Really adds cool texture and flavor. Oh, and by the way, the vinaigrette that I've been using for the salad, it's dill, champagne vinegar, and some olive oil. So I'm a big fan of dill as well. So there's salad starting to come together, or the bowl, however you want to call it. And then the final little piece here is just some pickled cabbage.
Nice.
Another item that needs to come onto more menus, I feel.
It does. It does. You know what? We were talking about cabbage the other day with Chef Peter, and I think cabbage is going to make. I think it was one of the top things that they think that's going to come back because it's a very stable, I guess, price point product as well.
Yeah, it's a hardy crop, so it tends to weather the storm when it comes to some of those price volatility.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like to include it. It tends to stay pretty stable with price. It's one of those things that lasts forever in the fridge, so you don't really worry too much about it. Getting shelf dated. And then the nutrition in cabbage is bizarrely good. Like, it has an enormous amount of protein, and I learned that a few years ago working at
protein.
It has
really
piles of protein. It's almost a complete source of all the amino acids. So really quite a great item from a health point of view and just from your costing point of view.
And you can put it in lots of different recipes as well, right?
Yeah.
So Karen,
I like cabbage for
I have a question. Go ahead, Chef. Anyways, Karen, sorry about that, Chef. I was like, Jay, just be quiet. Is Karen, does this Vitalite, does it come in like slices? Do you get slices there as well, right?
We do.
Like I can make grilled cheese.
We have the mozzarella style slices, and we have the cheddar style slices as well.
So it's dairy free, lactose free, gluten free. It's a lot of things here. Soya free.
Yes.
It's kosher.
Coconut based.
Coconut based.
Coconut based, yes.
Jeez.
And a good long shelf life as well. So it's pretty good in the fridge. You can keep it for a while as well.
How would you store it? How would you store it, Chef? In the bag, take it out, put in a container, insert.
Whenever you get any kind of cheese product, it's generally best to keep it in the packaging that it came in. Most things are packaged in very intentionally in a way that will preserve them best. So best to try and store it in the package that it came in. So this is the plant-based or Parmesan cheese. You can see it looks and behaves very much like Parmesan. It'll crust up nicely if you're going to use it as an au gratin. I'm just sprinkling it on the finished salad here, just as the final step. And a couple of sprigs of fresh dill to complement the flavors in the vinaigrette. And there we go. This salad packs a ton of nutrients in it. And again, pretty low cost items overall. The farro, the red quinoa, both are quite low priced and very year-round, same price year-round. Kale, same idea. The arugula adds a nice flavor and contrast in textures in there. And then cabbage, we talked about that. So nutrient rich, tons of protein, and looks great on the plate. It can be versatile seasonally as well. Like this one I would save for more of a winter application with the squash and the broccoli in there, but that could quite easily be subbed out for chopped up mango, and all of a sudden you've got more of a spring summer feel with the same base. You might want to swap out the kale for some iceberg and freshen it up a bit, but you can follow that same kind of style and just keep it seasonal, and then you're playing the seasonal game, and you're always shopping for the better price, better quality. So
first of all, awesome, Chef. Thank you. I'm excited about this product, and I know it's obviously I think it's growing. I know it's growing across Canada. I'm a huge fan of it. Is it something that people could also put on an LTO menu, maybe? Karen, what do you think?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Well, duh, Jay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the.
You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Karen, you don't play poker well, do you? Hey. Straight look.
Exactly what
Goes on anything, Jay. You put cheese on that, you can just substitute this over, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Eggplant Parmesan. There you go. Just use this product instead, and you've got the mozzarella shred. I've made vegan plant-based eggplant Parmesan before, and it's fantastic. It works just like the natural cheese does. So a great option there to make your eggplant parm into a vegan dish. yeah, I mean, I've made lasagna with it. There's all kinds of products that like we said before, it's really the possibilities are endless. It's just about what sells well for you and what do you want to make into that vegan option.
Awesome.
And because
Well,
it's considered a premium product, restaurants can charge a little more for it too.
Yeah, that's kind of a neat little thing that's happening out there. People perceive the plant-based menu as the premium, so they're willing to pay a little more, and there's been some research that shows that. So it gives you a really good escape hatch for cost of goods, because plant-based products, I mean, meat's expensive. If you can get that off the menu and get more people into plant-based, you can do well.
Yeah, and I'm doing a lot in the plant-based area also, and just understanding it more, learning about it, and it is growing at light speed right now. So you definitely hit it when you talked about the trends, and it's also this young generation Z that's looking for healthier options that are out there, and just really looking at different things that they can do with this product. But I always say, if you're building your restaurant right now to go after my generation or our generation, you may want to look at the Gen Z, and their spending habits within our industry are crazy. They tend to spend a lot more money on restaurants frequently throughout the week. So millennials maybe not so much are pulling back because they're getting older, as we all are getting older. But definitely the Gen Z are the ones that are looking for these options nonstop, and great ideas like your bowl. So there. Awesome, Chef. All good, Karen?
Yeah,
We're on to the second one. You're like,
should I pull away and you just hear me go?
Are you just dive? You want to dive into that salad, Chef? So let's cut to a quick commercial. Come back, and then we're gonna tackle. What was the last one we're working on right now? It's gonna be the last one.
We're doing a butternut squash gnocchi.
Yeah,
Yummy.
yeah. I'm excited about this. I hope you have some secret techniques, because my daughter was gonna make some of this the other day. So we'll see.
Cool.
We'll be right back.
I've got a few. Hopefully, I'll help you with that.
Awesome. We'll be right back. Here we go.
Sysco Classic High Performance Nitrile Gloves. Sysco Classic High Performance Nitrile Gloves are great for back of the house tasks such as chopping and slicing, working around moderate heat, or customer facing operations. They offer an elegant look and superior protection for any culinary application where touch dexterity, cut protection, and presentation are key. Sysco Classic High Performance Nitrile Gloves have superb tensile strength plus a flexible form-fitting design. They are an ideal barrier protection when working around moderate heat, oil, and chemicals. They can be used for cleaning and sanitizing in the front or back of the house. They're available in black and cobalt blue for any HACCP programs. They are great for detail-oriented tasks and are compliant with all FDA regulations for safe food contact. Nitrile gloves offer the right protection for the wearer when performing precision tasks that require long wear and a fitted grip. Sysco Classic High Performance Nitrile Gloves are available for order today. See your local Sysco representative for more information.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone, back to Sysco's Virtual Kitchen. We got Saputo in the house. Chef, are you ready for number 3? Karen, you good?
Here we go.
Karen's not going to want to come back. I am so sorry.
I'm ready to try the food.
Just want to sit down and grab a fork? There you go. So, Chef, what are we doing here? We're going to get... So what's the secret to making good gnocchi?
To making gnocchi, there are many secrets. I'll go through a few of them, though.
Yeah. I want to learn this.
Well, gnocchi is traditionally made with potato, right? So
Yeah.
And in my version of gnocchi here, I'm using sweet potato. Sweet potato is a little more trendy. It's kind of perceived as better for you. Kind of an innovative idea. Now, when you're making gnocchi, one of the things you got to do, a lot of people will make the mistake of boiling their potatoes or sweet potatoes or whatever they're using. That introduces a lot of liquid into it, and I find with a gnocchi, you want to try and stay away from that and keep your product as dry as possible. So I roast everything. So I've roasted a little mini sweet potato here, roasted whole, and that keeps keeps a lot of the flavors in, keeps the moisture in, and then you can just quickly peel it. Now, ideally, this is cooled down already, but ideally, I'd be doing this with a sweet potato that's so hot I can barely handle it. And the reason why you want to do that is when you press it through your ricer, it's hot enough that it's creating steam, and that steam will kind of leaven your dough a little bit, allowing it to be lighter. Because if you ever talk about gnocchi, the words that often come up to praise the gnocchi is pillowy, right? Nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
So to get that pillowy kind of texture, you want to have really, really hot potatoes or sweet potatoes, so the steam leavens it. Also, so now I'm going to squish it through here. And by doing this, I'm mashing it in one step. So I'm not really working it a lot. When you work something a lot, it ends up getting doughy. And you don't want doughy gnocchi. You want it to be fluffy and light. So I've already got a dough started in here. I'm just adding a little more to it. So in the rest of the dough, we have a little bit of egg, some ground nutmeg, salt, and pepper. And you're just going to add flour to it until just enough flour until it's just starting to hold together like this. So I've already done a bit of the work already, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like in the end. So you just want to get it to the point where it just stops being sticky. No further than that. You roll it out into a tube. Get the flour out of the way. Again, we're trying to work this as little as possible.
Okay.
Just enough to get it into the shape, and then just simple as cutting it into. Gnocchi is very, very easy to make. It's just a matter of doing it right?
Yeah.
So a little more of the flour in there just to stop it from sticking.
Nice.
So I'll do a few. And then the next step is just give it a quick roll. That's just to get rid of the sharp edges that you've created by cutting it.
All right.
And you don't have to use sweet potato, or you don't have to use potato. I've made gnocchi with butternut squash. I've made it with acorn squash.
Really?
Beet or yeah. Get creative. And then our gnocchi board. If you don't have one of these, you can use a fork. But this is the fancy step, and it doesn't really need to be done. A lot of places will serve their gnocchi just like this. But if you want to give it the grooves, see the little grooves you get when you put down there. Purpose of that is, well, it looks nice for one, but also those little grooves will help hold the sauce.
Yeah.
So when you're cooking it in, becomes it's kind of caught in those little grooves. So
That's
there you
it.
go. That's it. So there's gnocchi. And the next step is simply to boil it. So you stick it into some boiling water.
Any salt in the water, chef, or just water?
Yeah, a little salt in the water. I always salt my water. There's two reasons for that. One.
Yeah. Tell me, because I was thinking about this last night. Why am I putting salt in here? I don't know.
Yeah, well, one's for flavor and the other's for science. Actually, when you salt water, it becomes a higher boiling point, so you get a hotter temperature and it cooks faster. So that's a better product.
There you go, Karen. Who knew, eh?
I
did not know that. Did you? I just learned that too. There you go.
I always salt my water too, and I've never known why.
I know. I was salting mine last night, going, "Why do I do this?" I didn't know.
It's ingrained in our minds to do it.
Exactly.
Well, it does add flavor. There's no doubt about it. Salt makes everything taste a little better.
How long do you have to boil it, chef? How long?
Yeah, you don't even have to set a timer for this, which is beautiful because it just naturally will tell you when it's done by floating. Once it floats, it's done.
Nice.
I did some ahead of time as well, just in case I screwed it up. It looks like I'm going to get some good stuff. Here's what they look like. Once they're out of the water, having floated, you skim them out, toss them with some olive oil, and they're ready to stay in the fridge for when you need them, or you can put them on a sheet pan and freeze them and then portion them out later. It's the kind of thing that you do ahead of time so you don't have to make it on the fly, as they say.
So chef, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil or just olive oil?
Okay. Always extra virgin.
Always extra
virgin. It's your first press on the olive, where your pure olive oils and your virgin olive oils are generally second, third presses, and there's more. There's sometimes chemicals involved to try and extract some of those oils, where extra virgin olive oil is simply bladder pressed, and you get the best, purest flavor, the most richest nutrients in there, and not adulterated at all.
So, chef,
Always
can you
excellent.
use like flavored extra virgin olive oil? Can you use some flavored
Flavored?
oils? Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with infusing your olive oils with flavor. I've seen plenty of different versions of that on the market, or you can do it yourself. Just being careful not to infuse it with things like garlic, and then keeping it on the counter, because that can create you can get yourself into some trouble with foodborne illness. But it's definitely something you can do and keep it in the fridge and make your own versions of olive oil. Just as simple as adding something to it. Often we'll make a herb infused olive oil, and it's as simple as putting it on the stove in a pan with like some parsley or cilantro or something, and then just simmering it lightly, not letting it bubble, and those flavors will get right in there. And then just strain it out and keep it in the fridge. Makes for a nice little accent. Finish your dish with.
Yummy.
All right, so we can see the gnocchis are done. They're floating.
Careful now.
Just need to strain those off.
Karen, so if people wanted to learn more about Vitalite's website, where would they go?
What was that?
The Vitalite website.
Not too sure.
No, I don't know.
Well, I can tell you. I can tell you. I can tell you if you would go to vitalite.ca.
All right, so now we can sear off the gnocchi.
We're gonna put it up here. You guys can also recipes on here, by the way.
I'm gonna add in some apples.
Apples? No way. That's
and
cool.
Caramelized onion. The caramelized onion I did ahead of time.
Well, how do what we would caramelize? You just caramelize it, fried it with butter, or
Yeah, just cook it in not butter, because we're talking about vegan today, right?
sorry,
So
yeah,
I've used
no.
olive oil. Guess what I'm
What's
adding
the
now?
quiz,
Jay? You're
Jack?
gonna love it.
What was that?
What did I just cinnamon?
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Apples. That must be cool, chef. I've never done apples.
A little bit of cloves.
Are those Granny Smith?
No, those are nice.
Oh no, those are Fuji's.
Oh, Fuji.
Fuji, yeah.
Okay.
Something a little more sweet, right? A little sweeter.
Granny, you getting hungry?
You can smell that cinnamon. Jay, your favorite.
I know. Karen, you getting hungry?
So I like to just brown the gnocchis up a little bit, and then that's good to go.
You got the recipe right here, folks. Look at that, hey. So Vitalite does a Parmesan? Does it? It does a Parmesan.
Yes, there's a Parmesan, and that's what we're using on this. And we actually had on the booster grain. They have the shredded cheddar, the shredded matzo, the sliced cheddar, and the sliced matzo.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's got all the main ones covered, right?
Mm-hmm.
So gnocchi can be used as your accompaniment. Generally when it's on its own, it's great to accompany something on the rest of the dish. But I like to have it as the dish and just add some stuff like this to it, and then it becomes the main event itself. I mean, it's just a pasta at the end of the day. It's just made differently. It's considered to outdate pasta, in fact, in terms of how long it's been around. So maybe even the original pasta dish. Now, just when I'm starting to see some browning on there now, so I'll just throw a little bit of cider vinegar in there, just to deglaze the pan.
Oh wait, cider vinegar?
A little cider vinegar, yeah.
Nice.
Apple cider vinegar.
So you can get a pretty good value for this, chef. This is crazy cool. That looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great. And again, super low cost, right? Because we're using sweet potato, which is not an expensive product.
Yeah.
And you can charge for it, right? Because it's trendy.
Yeah.
And you got your Parmesan cheese on there to finish. Just makes it look, that final step. And there we have it.
Complete plant-based recipe.
Yeah, a nice little selection, breakfast, lunch, and dinner covered. And, these are just 3 of hundreds of applications you could have for these products.
Well, first of all, you guys got a wicked website that shows a whole bunch of cool recipes on here too. Plant-based grilled cheese. Favorite. Nachos. Nachos. You can do nachos. What's this? Plant-based chocolate cream frosting? We're going to have to talk about that one, Chef. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the recipe I didn't develop, but it would just be, I mean, you would just be using, instead of butter, you would probably just swap that out with some plant-based milk products. And then
Nice. I'm looking at it right now. It looks cool.
Did a plant-based cheesecake not long ago using the Vitalite. Actually comes in cream cheese as well.
Yeah.
Makes fantastic cheesecake. Made a
Wow.
strawberry stuff with plant-based cheesecake. So it was kind of an inside-out strawberry cheesecake. That one's a big popular one. And then you really like those apple roses.
Yes,
Right.
very, very good.
It's a cool little product that uses cheddar, and the spin on it is how you always have cheddar on an apple pie. So I'll slice apples very thin, line them down on a cutting board with some puff pastry, and then slices of the plant-based cheddar. Roll it up and then bake it in a mini muffin cup, and you get these little things that look like roses with cheddar in between, and it's stunning. It's a great little
And
dessert.
delicious.
And they're tasty.
And
So
delicious.
It's really good.
I love that. Well, first of all, thank you so much to both of you. And obviously, huge fan of your product. I think it's huge. Anyone should be looking at this product for plant-based cheese everywhere. And I think it's a great way to grow your menu, grow your followers. Jeez, you know you're on the show and you reference people as followers. It's downhill from now. But it's a great way for people to, guests coming in and really offering an option in your plant-based areas, especially if you have a pizza place. Like I totally would get it for a pizza place to have this. And they need it because it's gluten-free, and I know a lot of pizza places struggle in that area with gluten-free products. And do your homework. I always say when you do gluten-free, you got to do your homework. But also thank you so much for both of you and Chef and Karen being on the show today and showing these amazing ideas. And for everyone else, go over to their website. We're going to put it back up on the screen here and go to Vitalite. I always want to VitaliteDairyFree.ca. Check it out. You guys got wicked recipes. Also, it shows the array of different products you guys carry over there. So thanks again. And we'll hopefully have you back, Chef. And my camera just won't stop jiggling. Whoa. And there we go. Sorry, I'm moving like this or my camera is. So anyways, thanks so much.
Plant-based cheese. That's
I am.
It's
I'm a
excitement.
huge fan. It's a great product. So anyways, thanks again to everyone else. We'll be back again tomorrow with our first Indigenous chef cooking show. So other than that, thanks again. And we'll see you guys later.
Have a good day.
See you later. Bye-bye.